Welcome to Homestead Reptile. Today I want to talk to you about one of the original morphs, or what you could say wild type morphs. There's multiple wild forms of crested geckos. It's not one phenotype of wild morph. Buckskins. Buckskins are actually extremely rarish to find. So this here is a buckskin. See here that beigey color tone. So he's not fully fired up right here. Just a lovely little buckskin. Cute little guy. He has some Dallas spots, but he's just a plain phantom buckskin. Now, buckskins, on the onset of the hobby, most wild type geckos that were coming in were buckskinish. And buckskins are pretty much a mix of a couple of colors. So normally it's a dark yellow or dark hypoform, yellow, green. So it's kind of a mix of color where you get this beigeish color. When he fires up, he's a lot darker than this. But it is one of the first phenotypes that have come out of the wild. There's, like I said, there are some other wild variations, but buckskin's just one of those. And it's one of the first geckos that people would have been introduced to. So the cool thing about buckskin, since they're that mix of color, when people start selectively breeding them, say you have a redder buckskin or a more yellow buckskin or a darker buckskin, they selectively bred for the darker ones to go to darker groups, for the yellower ones to go to yellow groups, and for the redder ones to go to redder groups. So this is the first onset of selectively breeding different colors. So you can see him, he's kind of a reddish brown, so I'm going to assume his color is probably more of a hypo-y red mixed with a brown, because he has that a little bit of a red undertone, but it's a little like a dirty red brown. But something interesting to see, I have actually never seen a buckskin in person until this guy picked him up. Like I said, they're not super common to see, and it's just because they're not popular. That's all it is. They're not popular at all. But I also think it's kind of interesting to have a gecko that looks like a wild crested gecko. You don't see a lot of those.